right, it's Wednesday night, Citizens United. I am your host, John Restaino, and Wade's here. How's it going, Wade?
It's going good. Today
Yeah.
has been a crazy rainy day, but besides the rain, it's a great day.
Yeah, thunder, lightning, floods all over Niagara Falls, 39th Street, Grand Avenue, all kinds of stuff.
It's beautiful outside right now, though.
Yeah, it is, right?
So,
Yeah, especially here at Gorillas Inc. Studios. Always beautiful here. John Fidel's here, and he's my co-host for Friday Goal Getters. And we're going to have a special guest that day is from HockeyBuzz.com, Mike Jello, who will be talking all about, for the first half hour, all about NHL free agency, the expansion draft that's coming up, regular draft, all that stuff. John, how's it going?
Good, John. Doing good tonight.
Good. You'll be watching the message board a little bit for us.
Sure.
Robin is on assignment. So she's not here today, but she's sharing, and I bet you she might even post in there and answer questions. But Robin is on assignment, and we'll be back next week. We are, we're happy to have our guest today is Colin Ligamari. She's candidate for Niagara Falls City Council. And I look forward to this, Wade. We're on a run. We're going to be on a run of a lot of interviews coming up for the next, 4 or 5 weeks.
We sure
Yeah,
are. We
yeah.
have a lot of scheduled people, mostly people running for council in
Yeah.
Niagara Falls. We also have Connor Hoffman, who
Right.
made an awesome report with MTV News, who's going to be a guest virtually because he's living in Michigan, and he's an aspiring lawyer getting his
good.
law degree right now. Many great things coming up with Gorillas Inc.
And next week, we're going to have a 15-minute interview with this is nice, an advocate from the YWCA.
Right.
I'll have that.
Yeah. And we have
Kevin.
Allion coming on again. He's going to be in the studio.
In the studio.
This time, so that's going to be great.
And he'll be closing out he'll close out that show with us, and that'll be a lot of fun. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, you're going to see Colin Ligamari sitting next to me, and we are going to talk everything City of Niagara Falls as she prepares to run for City Council. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, are you stuck in your business? Are you facing a lot of struggles and obstacles to take your business to the next level online? Do you want to empower your business, scale it, and level it up? We are here for you. If you are just starting up, small business or big business, whatever, we will help you to level it up. Go fast and far away from your competitors to a limit that will impress them. They will see you as king of the niche. Get more traffic, more leads, more audience, go viral, equals more ideal customers and more sales. Unlock the top secrets of sales and secrets of online success. As you see, we are living in a digital transformational in all fields. New updates, creative ideas, and new advanced strategies. Do it with us right now and save your time and money. Pass all the obstacles and struggles that face you or will face. Let's rock your target. If you don't act right now, believe me, your competitors will catch our rocket to reach a higher than you and faster than your business. Time equals money. Procrastination equals more regrets.
right, we're back. Citizens United, and sitting to my left, which would be, I guess, your right, maybe on TV. Who knows? Is Colin Ligamari. Hi, Colin.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. Candidate, of course, for Niagara Falls City Council. Why, Colin? Why'd you do it, huh?
You know, so I'm 41, and Niagara Falls to me has never looked any different
Right.
than it does present day. And I didn't know until I moved away that other people live differently, because when you
Right.
grow up, it's all you know. And now that after I moved and I came back,
Right.
I've got questions. Why is it like this? Why aren't we better? We have the most amazing assets. We have all the right ingredients. Why are we a mess?
Right. No, yeah, I've been asking that too my
But
whole life.
I've been listening to you ask it.
Asking, yeah, we've been asking. I know. What do you have? Like, tell me about. That's a dumb question, but I think people should know. What's your family? What do you got? You got a child?
So
You got a
it is
son?
myself.
Mhm.
Technically he's my fiance. We're not married, but we've been together for 15 years. So like boyfriend doesn't feel appropriate anymore. We just
Right.
never got around to getting married. And our 8-year-old,
I know, I met
he's a lot
him. He
of
was
fun.
really cool. Yeah, good
He's
boy.
got- He's got questions.
Yeah, and he's a good boy. He's a really good kid. So yeah, that's you. You were in Florida though, right? For a little bit.
I was actually everywhere.
Okay.
So I moved from Western New York. I lived in Buffalo for a year prior to moving away. And then I moved to Sarasota, Florida. And then from Sarasota to Massachusetts, back to Florida, and then Florida to Vancouver, British Columbia,
Oh, beautiful.
and then back down to Orlando, where I stayed for about 10 years.
Love Vancouver.
It is surreal. It's so beautiful, it's not real.
It's like
and I lived
whales
there.
and stuff, right?
Yes.
And all that. Yeah.
For 2 years, I got to live in that environment, and I'm so fortunate. I was too young to appreciate it. I was 24.
Right.
So
Man.
it was just this utopian, bizarro, beautiful place. And I haven't been back since, but I really would like to go back and visit it.
Yeah, as a kid, I used to watch a show on Canadian TV here. Probably won't remember. It was called The Beachcombers, and I used to watch. And they were in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and it made me always want to go to Vancouver. It was unbelievable of all the logs, like people logging, whatever they do.
The mountains hit the ocean,
Yeah.
hits the beach, and then you have this beautiful, clean city. And, not to jump too far ahead,
Right.
but my favorite thing about Vancouver, and I remember being, 24, 25 and asking, like, hey, where's your low income housing?
Right.
The answer was amazing. So in each block and section of the city,
Right.
low income housing is built right into each neighborhood so that you don't even know it's low income.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Where we section ourselves off.
Where now we have
everywhere.
a low income area, or I don't know if that's, if Vancouver did that or if we did that by design. I don't know if we did or not, but Vancouver definitely designed it to have it not be a section. Everybody kind of high end,
Yeah. Well,
low end.
kind of makes sense, right? Because then you don't get you don't get that. I don't even know what you'd call it. Like there's the stigma, the whole thing about it,
Right.
And then
Right, or we
No.
live in the,
In
with
whatever,
the
yeah.
low-income project area here. There is none of that. It's all in the same building, right? You have your $3 million penthouses,
Right.
and then
and you know what? Here's I think the people there must just be accepting because
Oh, yeah.
here there'd be no chance. And I'm not saying here Niagara Falls. I'm saying here.
no, just in general.
Yeah, there would be no.
And I remember asking specifically because, again, growing up in Niagara Falls, what's what and what's where, right?
Yeah.
But there, I was like, I'm in a totally foreign space, and I had no idea how they structured it, and
Right.
it was structured beautifully.
Yeah, that's really something. I never knew. That's
was very
such
cool.
a good idea. Yeah. All right, I got to ask you a question. It's the quote I was telling you about. I didn't tell it to you. I just want to know what you think of this quote. It's a quote
I'm
that
ready.
I love, kind of, but it's a basic one. It's what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, no matter what. What do you think?
Agreed.
Your thoughts? You agree with that?
Yes,
No
it is
matter.
either right or wrong, and that is what it
Right.
is.
No DRR matters. Doesn't matter if you're a Dem, a Republican, whatever.
No, absolutely not.
Because you're not real political, I assume.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a Democrat, but for me, I'm more of a centrist who steps left on women's issues and some social issues.
Right.
I step right on a few things as well.
Sure. Well, yeah. Yeah. Especially, what always turns right, I think, is our financing. Finances.
Fiscal responsibility is huge.
I think a lot of us do that, even though we might be going the other direction.
Also, for me, it's responsible gun ownership.
Right.
I
Yeah.
step right there. But I step left on women's issues and some social issues. But yeah, politics isn't something that
You never were going to do that. I mean, this wasn't
No.
like I grew up in a family of politics, so
You did.
like unbelievable for as long as I can remember. I can remember from the '70s and stuff. So I always kind of had it. I grew to hate it, and now I'm back to okay with it. And I can see. I know you never aspired to.
No, and I still don't know how I feel about it. So I'm not used to being the kind of person that has to, well, be careful how you say something
Right.
because it might be perceived as this or that. I don't do that because I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I am, I've always been this. This is it.
Right.
I don't know how to change that into being a more politically savvy
Right.
person.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question now. Then we're going to get
Okay.
into some questions. This is Colin Ligamari, who's running for Niagara Falls City Council. Let me ask you this. And this is a question this is an issue that some have said. I know you've heard it. Some of your other candidates this has been thrown at too, about being a single issue candidate, right? And that comes back to short-term rentals.
Yes.
How and answer it for me. Just say what.
Colin, the short-term rental only candidate.
Yes.
I've heard this. So I'll start by talking about my business.
Okay.
Right. I own my company. I have a business partner as well. We buy and renovate houses.
Right.
So I started this company in 2017. The first house that we purchased was in Buffalo. It was in the Riverside neighborhood of Buffalo.
Right.
And so we bought the house. I renovated it along with like 2 other people. It took about 8 weeks. When we were done with the house, we sold the house.
Right.
I decided I really loved the work. So the renovation process for me was what I enjoyed most. I wanted to work closer to home. At that point, I had a 2-year-old. So
Right.
Waylon was 2 at that time. And I didn't want to be that far away. So the next house I bought was in Niagara Falls. And I bought it in LaSalle. And the house was awesome. It needed a ton of work. I was excited to do it. I did all the work. I gutted what needed to be gutted. We fixed we hired out trades for electrical and all the things that we needed to do. I put the house on the market, and the house didn't sell. So from that point, it was sink or swim. And I was like, well, what are we going to do? I can put a regular renter in here.
Right.
But it shared a driveway.
So
And
that's-
that I think that I missed the market by about a year on selling that house. That house had been abandoned and vacant for 4 years before I ever came across it. So I had talked to a few people. I have a relative who was doing a bed and breakfast on Buffalo Avenue, and she told me about it. So I did some research, and I decided maybe we would try the short-term rental model. And here we are today. So this is not the only thing that I do. My company is not about short-term rentals. I am not a
Right.
short-term rental. This isn't the only thing that I do. Right.
Right.
Right now, I'm interested in buying up land and building some tiny houses.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we'll see how it goes. But through the short-term rental process, problems with the city, dealing with, code enforcement, dealing with, figuring out how to comply well with the city. Nobody had answers. Everything was a mess. And I was like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on here and why is this so hard? So if you want to call me a short-term rental candidate, I mean, I guess you can. I do have 2, but I also have 2 regular rentals.
Right.
And, I also sell houses when I'm done with them. So, I mean, it comes down to, how you feel.
Now, as we're speaking, you told me there's a meeting going on.
Right
And
now.
what's going on?
Yes,
Tell
the
tell
planning
me
board meeting.
what is what are they doing there tonight?
So regarding the short-term rental situation, the Niagara Falls Tourist Home Association, we are a association comprised of legally operating short-term rental owners.
Right.
So right now, there is a proposed ordinance by the mayor that wants to zone short-term rentals only into one small portion of the city over by the casino. Like if you look at the map, it's a weird bump out on the map, right? And this did not pass unanimously.
Yes,
or I'm
right.
sorry, it had to be passed unanimously in order to go.
Right. And it was like
And
4-1.
it did
right, or
not.
something?
Bill Kennedy decided that this, before I had ever met Bill Kennedy. He had decided to do this. We
Right.
didn't know each other, so I've heard that too, that, Colin and
Right.
Kennedy are in cahoots to do the short-term rental thing. I didn't know Bill until 6 months later. But now they are hoping to change the rules for the planning board, who shot this down last year because it
Right.
was not in line with the city's comprehensive plan. So if they change the rules to the planning board, then council no longer needs a unanimous decision, and then we can just go ahead and push the zoning
4-1
through.
4-1 means they win. That side gets what they want.
3-2.
3-2, it doesn't matter.
3-2.
Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you just.
As long
yeah.
as it's a majority.
Well,
And
that's-
I find the timing a little suspect. It's
Yeah, no doubt about. Yeah, it is. It's because this wouldn't be happening. This wouldn't be happening. I
it
can't
seems
imagine.
weird, right? Like tourist homes have been in Niagara Falls since Niagara Falls was born, right?
Right.
Like we've always had the waterfall. People have always come and stayed in tourist homes. I don't understand why now this is the.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on why maybe the administration is so into? I mean, I might have a couple, but I don't know. I mean, we might never know. But it's a pretty strong. They're really strong on this about having a
Really?
zone.
Right, right. And have you been to that zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
How
I
do you-
live in the zone.
So, well,
Yeah.
let's pretend for a moment that you're not from Niagara Falls, that you're from, I don't know, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Right.
And you're coming to Niagara Falls. And you end up at a short-term rental on, say, I don't know, 7th?
Okay. Right.
Right. How do you feel? Like,
Yeah.
would you be comfortable with your stay at that point,
no.
or would you be looking to get out of there?
I'm going to tell you this: they would have had to have done a lot to make that possible, right?
And that's the thing.
there would
like,
have to be a lot. I don't know what could. Like it's going to take a long time.
2 years ago, I had an opportunity to buy a house in the zone, and man, it was an awesome house.
Right.
Like I can fix any house,
Right.
given enough time and money, I can fix it. I can't fix what's going on around that house. So,
Right.
the biggest thing that my guests ask when they want to come and stay at my house is this in a safe neighborhood? Because 98% of them are coming with their children. They don't
Right.
know where they're going. They don't know anything about our area except for what they read.
Right.
And I can in good conscience right now say, yes, we haven't had any problems. You're safe to walk from, the house to the river and then go to the falls from there or wherever it is you may go. I couldn't say that. When I pulled up to look at that investment house, I was like, I can't.
Right.
I can't do it. I can't do that to people. I wouldn't want to stay there. So, why are
Right.
we doing this to tourists?
Well, now the only thing I want to ask you is, I noticed some cities do it. They
Some,
do have
I
zone.
think.
What do you like? I saw like Orlando. I was just looking earlier. Santa Barbara, California.
Right.
What do you think? Now, different though. I mean, everything's different.
Right.
I mean, Orlando, Florida's completely different because I know how they tax. The whole thing is just different down there, right? The taxing, the whole.
Yeah, well, and again,
Why?
I spent 10 years in Orlando, so I can speak pretty well on Orlando. Orlando doesn't have a blighted housing stock
Right, like-
situation either,
Yes.
right? There is new
Right.
development going on in Orlando on every corner all the time. So it would make sense that if you're going to run out of housing stock, to maybe make sure that all of your housing stock isn't going to investors for
Right.
short term, because you do want to have balance, right? You want to have balance within your neighborhoods, and I think that Orlando doesn't have that same balance
Yes.
issue, and they are all over the city. So if
Right.
you look for it,
I looked at the map. Yeah,
Right.
I did. I looked at the map.
it is
Yeah.
everywhere, and
This-
it's just kind of the future of.
Yeah, and this is like the hottest, unbelievably, with everything else. This
Right.
is like the hottest topic I feel like in this right now.
It's turned political, you think?
Very well beyond. I just don't understand. I would just love to know. There's got to be a plan because what's going to happen? Some of the zone parts, there has to be really incredible. Like, if you want to talk about development,
Right.
I mean, because you couldn't. So
Yeah.
so that is where I wonder.
Nobody
what's
wants
up their
to see
sleeve.
that
Yeah.
zone beautified like more than me. I'm
Right.
from here, right? I spend time there. I would love it if it started to turn and it was cleaned up, but we gotta start where we are.
Right. Well, you know what? I'm going to get off of short-term rentals.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, you don't have to. Sorry, I asked you. No problem. I want to go to the 46. There's a $46 million. Well, you know about this. The visitor center in in the fall and on Goat Island, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I got this feeling that the falls, the waterfall itself, obviously a blessing, I guess, to
Well,
us,
I mean,
and a curse. I mean,
It's always been here. It was here
Yeah.
before we were.
Like Goat Island is done, right? I mean, we got no shot. I mean, there's nothing we're gonna get. We've had many people say we're gonna go to Albany and we're gonna fight them, and they come back upset, and then we don't get nothing from the, even not even parking, right? We get nothing.
I feel like we're not even involved in the conversation.
No,
You
we were taken out of that a long time ago. I
Right.
think
do I agree with the visitor center? I can't agree with a visitor center while the city is in the state that it's in. If we were not in the
Right.
state that we're in, then sure, I would love to, start from a beautiful place and continue to upgrade. But we're not there. We can't even get our grass cut.
What's amazing though is that the visitor center could have been, and it wouldn't have been great at the Turtle. I mean, what a perfect spot! Because at the Turtle, when I'm standing at the Turtle, I can see it's just like throw a stone and hit the water.
I've never been in that Turtle. It's been closed, I think, my entire.
25
and if it was
years? I don't even
open,
know, yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, because I remember I was in there. It was in the 90s, sometime mid 90s, early 80s, right? In the mid 90s, I was in there, and I was with the city, and we were taking out stuff like artifact, whatever. We were just taking it out, and I don't know where it was going.
Okay.
I have no idea because it wasn't my. I wasn't taking it, but I was driving
the
and
job.
taking it out. So I just think that that would be such an awesome place for $46 million, I guess, visitor center, because then
And it's
that
very
would
close by.
yes, and that would help the city, right? Because it'd be on city land. Because it is true, and I've heard. Well, Tom said it. I've heard others say it. I mean, that's just not even our country. That's not even our city anymore. Goat Island is off limits to
Right.
to
We've
the
been
city
cut out of
Niagara
the
Falls.
conversation. We're not even considered, for that sort of thing. I don't think, at least not
No.
to my knowledge, we are not considered. So, the Turtle, as we know, is owned by NFR.
NFR, yes.
And again, to my knowledge, they have no plans.
Right.
I mean, maybe, there's been little blips of here and there. Maybe this, maybe,
Yeah.
but nothing has ever, in my experience, happened.
No.
And also, it's not paying into our city either.
I know. And there it is. There you see the picture of the Nabisco and everything. But and that number 282-00001 doesn't answer.
Yeah, that it goes nowhere, doesn't
Goes
it?
nowhere, yeah. It's the bridge to nowhere.
We have
and
45 acres of
Yeah.
our primo
right down there, yeah.
land that we don't even talk about it anymore because it's just so.
It's 25 years worth of
Yeah.
just sitting. I've been arguing online with some on Facebook about the taxing of that land. From what I understood, the Turtle does not. If they do, it's very. They were reimbursed some money. There's all kinds of things that happened. Do you know anything more than I'm trying to say about that place?
I don't know
either.
more than you do, but I have heard that the Turtle is worth $4 million.
Right.
Right. And if you're not paying taxes on $4 million, it's time to start yesterday.
Right.
Paying taxes for what you own. So
Yeah.
when I come into a property, when I buy a property, I am immediately responsible for that property, the cleanup. I'm even responsible for water bills that had gone unpaid before I owned the house.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm responsible for snow, all taxes, all upgrades, all safety, all things. And I hate to think that we have we're giving preference to people who
Yeah.
don't pay.
No, I mean it's been so long, right? I mean the amount of when you go downtown in the area, that's all NFR. And I know we talked about this one time, and it almost looks like how Love Canal used to look. It's
I don't
just
remember what Love
empty.
Canal used to look like
Just empty.
outside of the pictures, because
Yeah.
that was what, 70, 78 that all
Yeah.
came to a head?
And then even after though, like when
Right.
they weren't letting people move back in yet, and
The
it was
mass
just
exodus.
a big ghost town, and that's kind of what you have there. I mean, you're
Right.
seeing just where houses were. If they are there, they're boarded. They're just kept quiet.
I call it Ghost Town.
Yeah.
But it's Ghost Town by design.
By design, absolutely.
So-
Yeah, I don't know why. Other than maybe they're looking. I don't know.
What are you waiting for?
a big payday, I guess,
I'm
for
sorry, I
25
have more
years.
questions than answers.
I know, me too. I know, because we don't have the answers, because we've never been allowed to have the answers in that. But, like I look at Lockport, Lewiston, North Tonawanda, whatever else. We are cursed. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I never thought I would, with having the waterfall, because New York State doesn't bother with Lockport, Lewiston, North Tonawanda. They let them do whatever they want. Like,
Right.
if they're going to do something, North Tonawanda has that Canal Fest.
Right.
New York State doesn't come and say, I'm taking part of this canal. You know what I mean?
Right,
But in
no.
Niagara Falls, we can't. The state's eyes are on us for only one reason, is the
Right.
revenue that
Well,
they take.
we host their biggest cash cow.
Yeah,
And not only that, but we host the energy to the Eastern Seaboard.
right. That we don't. Yes. Yeah, Yeah.
I mean, listen,
I know.
you're using our roads to get there. You're using our services if something were to, God forbid, go wrong.
New York State is a big problem for us because they also gave us a problem with the Senecas.
Right.
Now the Senecas, and I guess rightfully so, they're saying the hell with it. I'm not signing anything. I mean, they're not doing it.
Wait, the Senecas
Yeah.
are saying that they're just not.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
the compact's up and
Right. Listen.
no moves are being made. I mean, maybe they are behind the scenes, but I don't see why they would ever even play
Death
anymore.
and taxes. I mean, this
Yeah.
is something we should be able to guarantee, and now we can't even guarantee taxes.
Our entire downtown is gone. It really is. Now, because we're going to get into something after the break.
We're being held hostage by special interest groups and speculation. And we have been for 20 years, and it's continuing to go along this path. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And, we watch it deteriorate before our eyes, and no one seems to have any actual answers.
And
Why is this like this? Why can't we fix this? Why aren't we doing everything we can do?
I sadly think, I don't know what to do after all these years, because I sadly think that it isn't Niagara Falls. It isn't really the city of Niagara Falls. When I mean that is even City Hall or it isn't their fault. Not now. Maybe it was in the past.
Sure. I mean, I'm not laying all the blame on the current,
No, of course.
members
Yeah,
of
past.
City Hall or the
Right.
current administration. No, this
Right.
is by design over several years, over several administrations, and just it's almost too late. Like, are we not on the brink?
I think we see. That's where I'm going to go with this next one. Then we're going to take a break in a minute. But I want to go through this real fast. Let's leave 3rd Street alone for now, because when we come back, we're going to talk about 3rd Street. But for right now, I want to talk about Pine Avenue and Main Street. I don't think they're tourist zones. I just don't see tourists ever. Why would they? I've been, we talked about this one time.
Well-
When you go on vacation, you like to journey.
I do journey.
And go to the places that aren't, but I don't. Like, when I go on vacation, I just want to stay. I don't want to go see
I'm
the
not a
neighborhoods.
resort person.
Right, okay.
I'm a how are you living person.
Right. Now, Pine Avenue, forget it. I don't know. I hate to say forget it.
I know.
Because Pine Avenue's in better shape than Main Street, obviously, because Main Street has nothing but the police station and Rapids Theater. Rapids Theater's the only thing that really there. You know what I mean?
We do have a lovely police station.
What do we have?
A police station on Main Street.
Police station.
Our police station.
Oh, police station. I
That's
think you
what
said
we
police
have. That's
station. What the hell's
no.
going
If we
on
had a
here?
police station,
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That's what I thought. And
That'd be
that's what
something.
I'm like, are we having a place? I thought maybe there was, and I didn't know it. Like a place where that'd be kind of a good idea. We could have. Do you know that there's? I don't know if you guys know this. You've probably seen it on ESPN. Maybe they have all these games now. People are making big money playing video games, and there's even scholarships to universities now.
My son is researching this as we speak.
He should, because it's unbelievable if you can play Madden. If you're real good at Madden, I sadly watched a tournament one day. How boring is that? I watched a tournament on ESPN. Big money.
When we used to have media play in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
when
I remember media
was
play.
a kid, I went there and at the age of like 10, 11 years old, I won the Madden tournament.
Did you?
You did?
Yeah.
My
See what I'm
brother-
saying?
Yeah,
You were
so,
close. You were ahead. Yes, I mean it's going nuts
I
now.
would destroy some people in
Yeah.
Madden. Let's get Pine Street going.
My,
Yeah.
my brother used to go and play Pokemon there. They had Pokemon
Pokemon?
tournaments at Media Play. I remember that.
No, but Pine Avenue
So
is not Little Italy. That sign to me, I know it'd be too expensive. I'd love for it to come down because it's not. You know what Pine Avenue is, and I think this is a plus, not a minus. It's not Little Italy, but it's Little everything.
I don't
You
know
have
if
all.
we should make a
kinds-
sign that calls it Little Everything, but I feel where you're going with this, and I'm here
there's,
for it.
There's so much. restaurants.
Well, listen,
there's so much
yeah,
culture. Right now, it's not just Italian, and there's
No.
Italian too. But you look
Right.
there's a new pho place that opened up. There's some there's a couple Jamaican places. There's a couple soul food barbecue places.
Brody's
There's
is down there as
yeah,
well.
that's down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indian places. Mm-hmm. It's almost more of a universal.
What would
thing.
we call that?
I could call it yeah, I don't know.
Like our cultural strip.
Because it would be
Right.
flags of everything.
Right.
Because everyone on there is something different, and that should be celebrated more than
I
trying
feel
to.
like that would be amazing.
But we can't do it. But because
Why can't we do it?
I don't know, I would imagine there'd be a problem with it. I just think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Pine Avenue is not what it was, back in. I mean, when was it? When was it the Mecca, right? When was it the beautiful Pine Avenue? I don't even have a year.
70s.
Was it
John?
the 70s?
Part of the. Then it really. Yeah.
Right.
And then it kind of. I mean, I growing up.
Fizzled out in the 90s.
Yeah. A lot of things fizzled out in the 90s here, though, and we're going to get into maybe a
They
little
did.
too much, is
They did.
probably NAFTA and all that stuff, maybe taking away our manufacturing. Went. Goodbye to Nabisco.
When industry broke up with us?
Yeah, goodbye to Oxy.
Yeah.
Those are huge places.
Yeah.
I mean, a woman who only had a high school diploma could live a middle-class life
Right.
there.
Right.
So if I went to Niagara Catholic, and then you had to pay, and if you were a lawyer and you sent your kid to Niagara Catholic, the guy who was working at Oxy could too. So we were all kind of now. Don't you think that's part of a problem? I mean, because we're not a tourist. We can say we're a tourist
are
town.
we?
Well, we can't be a tourist town. We're not allowed because because we're kind of handcuffed. So to say we're tourism, I don't think is true. We are and aren't.
I mean, I don't know what else we can be. We have to, if we're going to be anything, I think that we do need to play to our strongest asset, just geographically.
Right.
Right? And we're a border town.
Yeah, we need Canada to open up. As soon as
Yes, we miss
possible.
them.
Yeah.
So we are a border town. We do have this beautiful natural landscape, right? And people are drawn to it.
Right.
So I feel like that makes the most sense. That's what we should be, and we should plan accordingly, right? But
Yeah.
the city shouldn't be circling the drain, while we're hiding
Yeah.
tourists in the corner.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to do that because we do have, there are several things in the city. So, and I'm in the tourist industry with
Right.
2 short-term rentals. People ask me, hey, where do I go? What do I do? What do I eat? I ask them, what their interests
Right.
are. I send them into the city. I'm very careful to not send them, to Buffalo.
Right.
Because we need it.
Yes. Yeah. I just know, think of Main Street. Main Street, obviously.
The funding is gelling.
Is it on Main Street?
That was sarcasm.
Oh, yeah. Main Street is, I mean, you're talking, you can't even, those buildings are, I saw a drone picture of the caved in ceiling, roofs.
It's a
and
mess.
everything.
They were supposed to be stabilizing those buildings first and foremost, right?
Someday they will probably
There's a
just-
Connex box across the street. It's been there
Right.
since I started.
Yes, that has been there. Yeah. But could you see them someday yes. An incredible, and it would be horrible. Because once one goes, they'd all go, but maybe that's what would be necessary. I don't know.
Buildings that were built back then are built way better than they are
Right.
now, in my opinion. But they do need maintenance. You have to maintenance them if you want them to survive. So according to, I've been to several meetings and I keep hearing the same thing, that Blue Cardinal's funding is gelling.
Right.
I don't know what gelling means. So
Right.
for someone like me, I either have funding or I don't have funding. If I
Right.
don't have funding, I don't have a new project. If I can't afford a couch, I don't buy a couch. Right? So I'm not sure what it takes for funding to gel, and I would love someone to explain it to me.
That is a real perfect segue into a commercial. Because when we come back, we're going to listen and watch a video and talk about 3rd Street, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back in a moment.
Hey, Western New York, CJ Spiller here, telling everyone to watch Gold Getters live every Friday at 6 p.m., where they'll give you up-to-date sports info. It's a great show, so be sure to leave your comments below. You like how I rhyme with that?
we're back, and I'm with Colin Ligamari, who's running for Niagara Falls City Council. Colin, let's do something here real quick. We're going to talk about 3rd Street. We're going to bring up that video, Wade, from Investigative Post, and I'm going to have you, in a minute, we're going to talk about 3rd Street. I'm going to have you then put on these headphones.
Okay.
And let you listen to it.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, is that it?
We got it. We're coming up right now.
Okay, good. Thank you, Wade.
For You Paid For It series with some help from our nonprofit partners at Investigative Post. Now, they've been looking into a deal on 3rd Street in Niagara Falls. A state-run development corporation has given TM Montante 2 buildings valued at just under $1 million.
Yeah, the plan is that the developer will turn it into a bar, restaurant, and meeting space. State law usually prevents a deal like that from happening, but reporter Mark Shear found out the developer might get even more state money.
Developer TM Montante has applied for more than $750,000 in state and federal tax credits. It's also seeking nearly $500,000 in cash from a tourism development fund. But wait, there's still more. Montante is also asking the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency to cut its property, sales, and mortgage taxes by almost another $500,000. Add it all up, and taxpayers would fork over more than $2.5 million. And what do they get in return? 14 jobs, many of them cooks, bartenders, and waitresses. The subsidies work out to nearly $200,000 a job.
I would say it sounds like this project isn't the best way for Niagara County to invest public money.
State Senator Sean Ryan was also critical.
So why would you take one business owner and say, we're going to give you a lot of benefits, but everyone you compete against has to pay their own way? That's bad economic development.
No one from the development company or the state and local economic development agencies pushing the subsidies would go on camera to discuss the project. Off camera, they justified the subsidies, saying the law allows them for retail projects in economically distressed areas. The poverty rate in the neighborhood around the project approaches 50%. Sean Weber, who owns Wine on 3rd, a bar and restaurant across the street from the proposed project, supports the subsidies.
In an ideal world, there'd be no subsidies. You know, the rents would be high enough to cover any investment you needed to make to get the project done, but that's not the real world, especially in Niagara Falls. The real world is, if you don't get these subsidies, none of this stuff will happen.
Ryan isn't convinced.
You know, this just isn't a public benefit. This is a private gain, and this should stay where it belongs, in the private sector.
The IDA is scheduled to vote on the incentive package for the project on July 14th. For Channel 2 News, I'm Mark Shear with Investigative Post.
All right, we're back, and that's from our friends at Investigative Post. And, you know, I thank Mark Shear, too. Great job by Mark. What a good...
good job.
I wish they'd do more of that, maybe, or let him do more of that, whatever the deal is, but that was a really good. Now, today, it was unanimously approved.
I was going to ask, they said that today's the 14th.
Yeah, so it was unanimously, of course
Of course it
approved.
was.
So, as they said, 4 properties, 500, 503, 512, 518. 512 was Club Exit way back when, but now whatever it's called, the Ice House or something.
Yep.
It's a nice parking lot over there, too. That's a good lot they got. So you saw everything, all the breaks, all the everything. You heard what the guy on Wine on 3rd said. I don't know. I don't understand him. But it's given us 14 jobs out of the deal.
14 minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
Actually.
Service. Yeah, tough ones. You know,
Right.
waitress,
Yeah.
bartender. And I don't know. What is this? I mean, it's really not. I have to agree with Shear, what he says there. It's not really tourist. I mean, what is it? I mean, like, no one's going to come from Pittsburgh to go to a brewery, or because they have them in their own place. The office space and conference thing.
I mean, I would need to look more into seeing, who the office space and the conference thing benefit. But this whole deal does not sound beneficial to the city of Niagara Falls at all across the board. You know, we're giving, a 14-year, tax abatement on top of all these other incentives. And, your regular person can't open a small business on 3rd Street. Someone who's putting all the skin in the game, all their money in the game, and they can't do it.
And they can't. No, it's kind of like what we were talking about just before, about NFR.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't. You just can't do it. I mean, I had someone tell me today that 3rd Street has become like the dollar store because everyone just keeps getting stuff for $1.
Oh,
everyone just keeps getting buildings.
I wasn't drawing that correlation.
Yeah, they all just getting this land, this beautiful. I mean, these spots.
If you're
for
a
$1.
preferred developer, if you're not,
right.
Sorry, go find somewhere else.
There's another meeting coming up, I guess August 11th, where they're going to have another one of these meetings. And here's the part that really, I can't understand this. And you can tell me about this. I think you already know about it. I had to write it down, lest I forget. Where the hell did I put it? Oh, okay. For example, now we go to 3rd Street. We're on 3rd Street. You got Rust. You got Donatello's, and you have another building, again given away, given to Caffarella. He now is going to get these same breaks. He will get the same breaks. He will get the same everything. The problem I have with this, and this is something you might not be able to talk about, but maybe you can. It's political as can be, because when Jason Zona gets into this,
right,
and now he's going to get a part of this after being the chairman of the party last year.
Okay, I actually didn't even know he was the chairman.
Yes, he was. He was the right? Wasn't it last year, Wade? Was it 2020?
Yes.
Right.
We have, Mr. Fidel has a comment.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm sorry. Yes.
Rob Nichols says some rich guy is getting paid on that deal.
Yes.
Well, I would assume it's the developer that gets paid on the deal, right? Like, I mean, it's not us. It's not the city of Niagara Falls getting paid on the deal. I mean, for the lucky 14, get jobs. But outside of that, what else? That's it. So all the tourists are going to come in. They happen to hit, these restaurants. All the money goes back to, and we don't even get the tax money out of it. I mean, it's not.
It doesn't make sense.
No, this is not how. This is not how you run a city. This is not how a city thrives, right? I mean, this is
a system thing.
This is a friends and family system.
Yeah,
right?
and
it always has been.
It's a system problem in New York State, though. Like when I was working, I was at a factory for a while, and it was in the old Bell Aerospace building. That's out near the
by the airport.
Yes.
Yep. My grandmother worked there.
The company was a French company, and I worked there for a while. And they got tons of IDA help. They didn't even pay their own electric. They didn't pay gas. They paid nothing.
Right.
And they actually even got some rent assistance. And they were paying horrible wages there. I mean, they're paying to start $11.40 an hour. Mm-hmm. And kind of similar to what's going on in the city of Niagara Falls. But we'll get onto that later. But, like, at $11.40 an hour, you might as well hand out social services stuff to you as you sign on, because you're going to need. My point is, though, again, I go back to the state issue. Something is wrong where we can't keep we can't keep that factory here, really, unless we sweeten it up so much that you say, okay, you don't have to pay an electric bill ever. You never have to pay a gas bill. Leave.
Niagara Falls is not the place where real investors with real money are coming to develop. Our crime rate is through the roof. Like, why would you look at it and say this is a great place, to come and drop a ton of money?
So
it's going to different characters.
Right. But like, I could see that for Pine and Main.
Right.
Pine Avenue, Main Street. But down there feels like someone would love to get a hold of that NFR property. I would think
anyone would love to get a hold of it. It's not
with who's got the money and the means. Yeah,
it's not even a conversation that you're allowed to have. You call the number, nobody's there. Where does it go? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Right.
No.
To
So
answer your question, Jay Zona, it was the chairman last year.
Last year it was, right?
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm so new to this that I didn't even know that bit of information.
So somebody to really look into because he did a lot of things that I consider corrupt, and we've had it out many times where he is a very unprofessional person who shouldn't have had that title and shouldn't be receiving any type of credit for.
Well, think about this now. Those guys are going to get Caffarella. Caffarella might be the most interesting man to ever walk in Niagara Falls or Niagara County. He is the chair board of trustees at NCCC. He's the Lockport Corporation Council. He's Niagara County. He just got on the Niagara County Redistricting Commission, where they're going to gerrymander. You know how they break up voting districts.
Right.
Attorney for the Niagara Falls Housing Authority, and now this. I mean, this tells you what that is. I mean, he gets it. He just gets these things, and you don't get these things without having someone help you get them. You know, I mean,
I wouldn't know how to go about getting, unless I have $4 million, I can't buy the turtle. And even if I had $4 million, am I allowed to buy the turtle?
No, they'd say no.
Is that an option for me? Because if it's for sale, I should be able to buy it, right?
Yeah, and it's not.
It's not for sale.
It's not up for sale. Not at all.
We need to figure out how to pivot away from this kind of BS and put it back to how can our regular people get what we need and do what we want to do. Like if, I use Galen Bailey as an example.
Right.
Right, because Galen, he's fought so hard with his small business, and it's awesome. And, he wanted more, and he was denied, right? How do we make sure that, if Galen's got $1 and a dream,
right, that he can
actually achieve,
where he's going to get competition here shortly.
Yeah.
From the other
right.
The state park is going to end up competing.
They're going to put their own stuff. Exactly.
And
so
they may knock him out.
How do we get it back so that we actually support our real people?
Yeah. Well, like 3rd Street when I was younger. This is now the late '80s. I mean, you had Club Exit.
I remember a little bit.
Yeah, they had like all those different places. I mean, I'm not saying they were great. They were just clubs and bars.
Unks and Brags
and Exit, Club Exit. You had Bedrocks or whatever it was called, and you had some pizzerias. You had stuff, and it was a college town feeling.
Was it?
Yeah, it had that feel because you would get the kids from everywhere. You come from Buff State, they definitely NU, and I almost think that would be I'd kind of rather have it that way than
for sure.
What's happening right now.
So I mean, even in Buffalo.
Eagles downtown, if you remember, too, played.
Yeah, when we had a convention center.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they used to play down there. And then I always thought that maybe we just turn and go to be that. Why can't we be like a little Columbus, Ohio? Why not use Niagara University with all that money and all those people of means? So obviously, if you're sending your kid.
Little microcosms, I think, are far better than one big Ferris wheel. Right? Like, we don't need a Ferris wheel. What we need are, lots of jobs and lots of businesses for lots of people. That's what we need. There's not going to be one thing that's going to save the city. It needs to take a turn.
And it's so bad because I don't know how. Well, you guys are going to figure it out.
It's super frustrating, but asking the questions and relaying the answers, letting the community in on, okay, here's what's happening and here's what we can do, right? I mean, at least there's a level of transparency in that. So I'm looking for that.
Well, here's what's so non-transparent is what just happened today. Today it was unanimously approved, and I'm going to guess that the only place you're going to hear about it is here.
Right.
I don't think, and because I heard it from someone who was actually there.
Sure.
So I can't assume.
Maybe Mark's here.
Does the Niagara Falls Gazette? No, I don't know if the Niagara Gazette's going to print that, or the Buffalo News is on the verge, I guess, of having some changes, and I'm sure Niagara County won't be covered anymore. Maybe. Here's another thing that happened there. Do you guys know the Red Coach Inn?
Yes.
You know that place? Wade, you might not. I'm sure you do, John. The Red Coach. Oh, yeah. They today also in this meeting they gave them a loan to pay their taxes.
Really?
Yep.
The ones that are right kind of at the brink of the falls, right? The old Red Coach Inn.
They were given a loan to pay their taxes. Why? So and then
is this pandemic related? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. This is all just nonsense. You guys have your work cut out for you. Obviously,
it's a lot. I mean, listen, it's not just there's this is a culmination of many, many, many years of bad government and bad decisions and overspending and using temporary money to fill holes. And so, yeah, like it needs a complete overhaul. It's a huge job.
Yeah. And you know what? Someday go
Going
back.
home now.
Someday go back and look at why the casino money got split up as it did.
Right.
You know, it's like Senator Maziarz and I think Francine Del Monte, and all of them. Neither one of them were. Maziarz was in North Tonawanda, Del Monte in Lewiston.
Yeah.
And Maziarz decided that the city of Niagara Falls couldn't handle the money, so they shouldn't get it.
So we just can't have it.
And that's what happened. It's been like that. Well, now no one gets it because the state. Anyhow, that was another good. You know what? You brought up COVID relief.
Yes.
We are getting $59 million of CARES Act, whatever you want to call it, COVID relief funds. And I guess my thing with this is there was a meeting the other day I don't even know what it really was about. You were there. It was
the NOAA meeting.
The NOAA
right?
meeting.
Yes.
And it was kind of to just let the administration let you know what their plans are?
No, I think it was the community asking, hey, what are the plans? Like the community doesn't want to be left out of the conversation.
Right.
And doesn't want to be kept in the dark as to where this money is going. And I certainly applaud them for that because they do deserve to know. The community should always know how money is being spent.
Has there been anything that you know of that you could tell us? Maybe, I don't know if you do, if you heard. Is there any...
If I know it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, is there any plan at all? Have you heard anything? Like, this is what they're going to...
So, well, there have been... So I sat in on those meetings, and the things that I heard are the same things that everybody else from the community heard. Right? So I heard some technology upgrading for City Hall.
I heard that, yeah.
Right? There was talk... from the mayor about lighting potentially, right? Infrastructure, part of infrastructure, which, I understand these things as necessary.
Right.
But who was it? Leslie Nickerson, who is with NOAA. Mm-hmm. She said something once that really resonated with me. She said, nothing about the community without the community. So this needs to be the spirit of everything, right? So you've got the money's coming in step by step. What needs to be done? What do you intend to do with it?
Right.
How do you intend to use it?
Because we get like 2 payments, I think.
Yes, it's broken up, I believe, into 2 payments, with the first one coming
this year,
and the next one, and it all has to be spent by, I believe, 2026.
Right, or it goes away.
Back. Yeah.
Because I don't even think you can transfer it anywhere. Maybe you can. There's something weird about that.
I want to see the full guidelines. Like I do want to read all 151
pages. You
have
to. We have to. Someone has to.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, but they do that. That's what
but
you guys.
I'd like to.
Yes, and that's what the congressmen do. That's they do. You got to before you would. Right, that's what you do. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't want a summary. I'd like to actually see the full guideline, and I'd like to see exactly
we can read
how.
books. It's not that much.
No, we could figure it out.
Definitely. I'm hoping. When I think about infrastructure, the computer infrastructure I know at City Hall is old. I do know that. I agree. It's
archaic
pretty
in there.
I do have a problem. And not with the person. I always say this. It's not the person who's got the job. It's the job itself. The public information officer.
Right. That was created during the pandemic, was it not?
Yes, it was approved right before. It was like in March, just before all hell broke loose. But it was coming. We knew it was coming. And it's $47,000 a year. Obviously, you get your benefits with it. But if you noticed with the public information officer, you can't talk to the public information officer. Like if I have sent a message to the public information officer, I can't talk to the public information.
You've not received anything back?
No, I received nothing. And I also didn't get a chance to enter. Like, that's what I would figure that would be.
I don't know. Maybe you're not supposed to be able to interview her. But if you are the public information officer, I would imagine that you are giving the public information. I mean, is that a one-way street?
I think they've made it that way.
Okay.
That it's going to be, here's our information, take it or leave it. You know, here it is. And because there's no press conference, there's there's nothing, there's nowhere.
Opportunity to.
The only time the administration talks is in a controlled setting. I notice it would be on Channel 4 with Jackie Walker. It'll be on, Tom Darrow, where it's just a circus act. It'll be. Whatever. It'll be controlled.
Sure.
And we can't ask. You can't. I don't think you could. I bet you
No.
Right now, you can't ask, but you should. I should. John, all of us here. But I mean, like, the PIO is a. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I don't understand why we needed that. People have tried to explain it to me, but I don't understand. It's what? It's Facebook.
It's a pretty awesome job for $47,000 just to make some Facebook posts.
I mean, I really, I enjoy the administration's posts from the mayor's desk. I get some, I get a little bit of here and there from it. But, we didn't have this before. And we have so many pressing issues, right? We have huge issues. We have issues that need to be addressed first and foremost. And I don't think that was necessarily one of them.
No, that was a mistake. Yeah. Now, let me ask you real quick, because we're going to try to wrap this up. We're going to go rapid fire a little bit.
Oh,
but
boy.
not crazy,
Okay.
but crime. Social Justice Commission. Did you ever end up checking that out?
I read about 25 pages of it.
Okay.
I did.
You saw the people that are
I found
ahead of their categories?
Yes, I did. And I found that that was, in my opinion, that was written by academics.
Yeah. No community involvement there.
There was right. So again, I applaud the effort of a social, justice conversation. Absolutely. However, nothing about the community
was involved.
Without the community, as Leslie Nickerson would say. So I read about 25 pages of it, and I asked opinions, and I asked opinions of the community, and everyone said the same thing.
This is not. No. But I had saw something, and this is from where, I guess, Tampa. They have something I love, and I don't think we'd ever do it here, but it's called the Citizens Review Board, and what they did is, I think there's like 7 or 8. I don't know how many they picked. I'm not sure how they were picked. It might have been by districts, and of course we don't have district counseling, which is a mess. But we could figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's like let's say a group of 7, and they're there. And if there's a misconduct by the police, let's say they come in just to witness what's happening. They have no role. They can't make a decision. They don't do it. They're just there to witness, and they can go back and tell their different districts what they saw, what happened.
Yeah.
So they know, like, if something, crazy happens, like what happened in Lockport here with Troy Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone going to be there now, so it isn't just here's what the press release. It's happened. It's done. We there's no further charges. There's someone there. Niagara Falls could be pretty nice to have that idea, I would think.
It's absolutely. I mean, listen, that sounds like community involvement, right? Completely and totally. I love that.
They do it. All you got to do. It's funny because I found it just because I was listening when this first came out. The Social Justice Commission. I knew the governor forced it. Mm-hmm. He said it had to be done or you're not getting COVID money. So they did it, and it was done with disrespectfully in my mind, because when you have, let's have this, we're going to have the head of the police part of it is the city administrator and another guy who's in his 60s or 70s. The city administrator never had a run-in with the police in his life, so he wouldn't know how to deal with that. We're going to go talk about health insurance and health, and instead of talking to maybe a nurse or something, we go get the head of Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center.
Right.
Education.
I mean, we really have to be where we are, and if we're starting, it doesn't make any sense to do it academically. It makes more sense to do it from the bottom up and not the top down.
And there was and we know there was just no desire to get into all that.
Regarding the Citizens Review Board, I looked at how the council works out in Detroit, Michigan, right? Because Detroit, for how many years? Detroit was like, oh my God, Detroit, it's ruined, it's awful.
Right.
In my opinion, Detroit is way better off right now than we are.
Yes.
Right? They are rebuilding, they are all the things, right? So the city council of Detroit has to have so many meetings per year in the community.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's a no-brainer of an idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's mandatory. It shouldn't have to be mandatory, but, in Detroit it is. And here, I don't know, I don't see too many organized meetings with our members of council and the community to sit and go, hey, what's going on in your neighborhood? Tell me what's happening. So we can have an open line of communication.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. But I would like to see it, and it's something I would love to implement in the event that I'm to be elected.
If you're elected, or maybe somebody will, I would love to see I don't know how we do this with the city charter and all, but it'd be great to get to district counseling in Niagara Falls like
Yeah,
everyone
you know,
else has.
I've heard pros and I've heard cons about that. I don't have enough information to really pick a side and say
Right.
this is what we need, so I need to read more. But there was one of the cons I heard was that, you know, each district would be jockeying for their portion of money,
Sure, yes.
right? And
Yeah.
that could be a detriment to another district. So I'd have to read more
Yeah.
about it because I really I can't say one way or the other if that would be a smarter idea or
Right.
not.
Yeah. I mean, here in Niagara Falls, I don't think there's any, well, there's no money to be had.
Well,
for
right,
anything.
at the moment.
Do you know, because you looked into this, and we need the 150 pages of that CARES
I need
Act.
all 151 pages.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if we could do something to lower? Because now remember, it's a fee, not a tax.
Right.
If the garbage fee could be that burden is a tough one on renters,
It really
landlords,
is.
the whole deal.
So, and I've heard too that the garbage fee is being paid disproportionately by renters as well. So,
Right.
like I pay, what is it, $180 a year,
right.
for my one house, and then I pay for the the other two houses that I have on the city tax roll. But for renters, your rent just didn't go up $181.
Right.
Across the year, it went up $100 a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to find a better way. There needs to be a better system.
Yeah, the 3 new people that go in need to open it up. Need to go figure out, because it's and I had this feeling when it happened, and I think some of us did, that it was going to hurt the most vulnerable. And it is.
It appears like it is.
Yeah, it is going to hurt them
absolutely.
because where are you going? Rents have gone up through. You know this better than I do. They've gone
Yep.
through the roof.
Absolutely.
When I see $1,100 in some, you're nuts. I don't know how, unless
Right.
it's impossible.
And our housing stock hasn't changed. So now what used to cost you, $600 for an apartment is now $1,200 for the exact same apartment.
Yeah, and
right? No changes.
And median income's like $23,000 here.
Exactly.
So we're in trouble.
We're heading down a weird
Yeah.
a path that we've not been down before. That's never happened here.
Right.
Like this market spike has never really hit
Yeah.
Niagara Falls quite like it has the past 2 years.
And I don't know what do you think? What do you know? Like, why
Well,
does that happen?
there's theories, right? Like
Right.
something you always get discovered, right? There's
Right.
we've always been waiting to be discovered.
Right.
Did it happen? Because again, I tried to sell a house in 2017, wouldn't sell. And again, this was a brand new renovation, right?
Right.
Everything in the house was brand new, and it was, I think, listed low. And now it would be worth double or
Right.
so, did we get discovered? I mean, did the short-term rental group, did we
It might have opened up
did we jump up
some stuff. Yeah.
housing values? Right?
Possibly, yeah, right. Maybe, yeah. Real quick, I got to do one last thing before we give you the final word. Or everyone gets a final word, but you'll have the first final word. This will be quick. We won't stay real long, so we got to get rolling. I know I got to get you out of here. Grass cutting and DPW.
Yes.
Now, I did a little research today because I was getting, I don't know what to say. So here's my research. I talked to someone down in the corporation yard, and they said, and John's been there, so he might even be able to add into this what I'm saying, John, if you know what, I think you even still know what's going on kind of down there. When people retire, they don't refill the spots.
Okay.
Those jobs just go away. Is that right? Right? Okay.
Is that correct?
Then, the pay is horrible. People start at $12
Do you know
an
what
hour
the
there. And someone who drives CDL, a plow, only
Yeah.
gets 20 an hour.
Really?
That's horribly low. It's a disgrace because when you're making $12 an hour, like the Zoom, there's a Zoom thing, cleanup thing.
Yeah, I
They're
remember the Zoom team.
They're hiring
For how much?
$12 an hour,
Okay.
and it's not good. No one. Why? Why would you go do it? John, go ahead.
It should be like 15 or 16.
Easily to start. Yes.
Type of job.
Right, and I know we're not there on the $15 an hour minimum yet.
Right.
Correct? Is that only for full-time employees?
Right now, it's just federal, right? I mean, the state has its own
State,
little.
but I think
don't know what it
there are
is.
parameters. I need to look into that to
Right.
see if it's a full-time specific or.
Because we can't do it. You're not getting.
Yeah, it's
anyone
not
to-
working. What we're doing is not working.
Now, I called the county because I used to do work fair program where you'd bring people on social services out to work, so all that. So we used to
Right.
bring them to Niagara Falls and cut grass. They would send me anywhere with these guys, and we cut grass. We used to clean up the city market and cut and weed whack. We used to, and even houses that were abandoned or something, if a citation was given, they don't cut it. These guys would come cut it.
I've called the Zoom team several times on a few properties. I actually have a property next door to my property right now that's never been maintained.
I got one like that by me. It's like this high.
It hasn't been cut the whole season.
My only
Empty house.
My only thing is now the county, that workfare program is shut down because of COVID. It hasn't even come back yet. It's
Right.
still down. We used to use people from the county jail, their work release.
Yeah, and we don't do that.
Shut down because they don't even have it anymore. The county just stopped it. They actually got rid of the 4 guys that were doing it. Were the supervisors. So now they're going to put those guys onto the Niagara County workfare program. That type of thing. But they're not even doing it. I don't know if we can cut it right now. I'm starting to believe.
I was going to say, we're right on the brink.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe that we don't have the manpower to do it.
Right.
Do you remember, John? And you might remember. Wait, I won't give you because I know you're in Lockport a lot. There was a time, a little bit ago, you weren't working. I think you were already retired. Where Hyde Park was horrible. Where you couldn't even play baseball there. If you hit the ball, it would just die in the weeds.
Oh no!
All of Hyde Park was just so overgrown.
Okay.
I feel like they're doing everything they can just to keep those places.
All the resources are going to 5 things.
We might want to look at because I think they're stretched so far.
It could just be that they're stretched way too thin.
Yeah, that I don't
sure.
think it's possible anymore at this point to get where we'd want them to be.
Real quick, I read I read the New York State Financial Restructuring Report for Niagara Falls, and it suggested in there that we share services with our surrounding municipalities. So that might be something that's worth looking into, right? If we're sharing services, would our costs not go down? Would their costs not go down, right? If we're
I would have to be a union issue.
It very well may be, and I mean, I'm just asking the question, right? It was suggested.
Well, the
I'm
mayor
not sure.
talked about it heavily when he was running. Now it hasn't happened, but I think I'm going to give him a break. COVID was a pain.
Oh yeah, it was awful for everybody.
It absolutely put a freeze. I mean, we froze in time. It feels like
it did,
and now we're back where we started from. But I don't know the grass thing. I agree, but I don't know how you get. I can't see it being. I don't know if they have the guys. I mean, because in the past they didn't have the guys. I'm talking in the '90s, and I used to come from Lockport to do it with a crew of 10 guys.
Right.
I remember that. I remember Palillo's.
We were on that crew, and we used to get everything anywhere. I don't care if it was a viaduct.
Get everything. Yes. Yeah.
Where high grass was, you stopped.
And you get it.
And you got
Weed whack it. Do whatever you got to do. Yeah.
Right.
That's what we used to do.
It's not being done now.
And I did it with the county guys. I remember the legislator that it was from Niagara Falls was his last name was Condi, and he used to just call and say, "Bring your guys to the city market. It's a mess. Pick up all the litter."
Right.
He would say, "This place looks horrible on 18th." So that's good. But the men aren't there anymore. The women aren't there to do it.
If there's no staff to do it, you can make all the calls you want, and
there's no one home.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all right.
So we got to break it all down and build it all up and figure out how do we get there. Where are we?
Yeah.
Where do we want to be? How do we get there? Let's get it done. Let's find a way.
Got to find a way. You're right, because we've been.
If it's hopeless, then let's just walk. But
I'm
not ready yet.
And
I'm not there.
Yeah. See, I'm there with the Goat Island stuff. Right. I just have realized to me that I can't fight the state. The state is too much. They just have too much, and they knock you out. Right. I don't know how Niagara. You know what it is? We're not even Buffalo, because Buffalo is bigger, and Buffalo gets what they get. Niagara Falls we're in such an odd position because we're Youngstown, Ohio, we're Arnold, Pennsylvania, but we have a border and we have the falls.
Right.
But
we're a little bit Tijuana.
And the state won't allow us to get anything from the falls or from once, because the convention center was great until it went away.
Sure.
And
it got replaced with something that doesn't give us any revenue
anymore.
Right?
Yeah, it didn't.
So
yeah. All right, I'm going to let you out of here, but I want to do this before me and Wade and John and I read my numbers. I want to give you why should you win? Why should you be one of the 3? What do you think?
Because I'm not there on hopelessness yet. I still think that we need to find a way. We need to have the conversations. We need to work together. We need to figure it out, right? The conversations are all hard, and I'm ready and willing to have them. I'm ready and willing to do the work,
Right.
do the research, ask the questions, and,
Yeah.
I'm ready to do it. Let's do it.
All right, Colin. Well, you'll be back again with us.
I would love to.
Good, because I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah,
This was fun.
This was fun.
And the election's in November.
November 2nd is the election.
So we
yes.
got time, a lot of
Yeah,
time.
I'm
The
excited.
fall's coming. I love the fall.
No, I'm happy right now. I want it to be muggy and hot and sticky all the
Do
time.
you like that?
I love it.
You love it?
I do. I'm the happiest in the summer.
All right.
The days are the longest. Get
That
the
is
most
true.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah.
I get hit with the SAD in the wintertime.
Anytime?
Yeah.
I do too.
It's
I know what
misery.
you mean. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling misery. Anyhow, Colin, thank you
you.
for being with us. Let's go around here and you can listen to our final thoughts. John, final thought. Anything that you might want to say to end this up?
Wish you best of luck. You got a tough road ahead of you, and nothing but the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Wade, any final thoughts for us as we close out our show?
Yeah, Colin said she was nervous when she came here.
I still
but
am.
She is a natural. So I mean, you did a great job tonight. Thank you for coming on
It's your own
Citizens
show.
United and answering the questions that John gives. Hope you liked it here, and I agree, John. Maybe she should get her own show.
That'd be fun,
So
yeah.
I wish you the best of luck, and we hope to see you on here again before the election.
I'd love it. Thank you so much.
And I am going to say real quick that thank you for being here with me.
Thank you.
I knew it was going to be fun. It's always fun. And this is for other candidates that are watching. This isn't so bad. Just come on in and we just talk.
Yeah,
And
we
that's
settle
it.
in and we're okay. It's fine.
Yeah, we just talk. That's
Water's
all.
fine.
No, there's no agenda here. It's
We're
just
not the
fun.
boogeyman like some people try
Yeah,
to
no, we're
Do
good.
they call you that?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's like a weird fear factor for nothing because we just do it. You know,
All right.
we just had a nice talk. There's
I'll
some-
let 'em know.
Yeah, let them know. I'm going to read my numbers off here like I do every week. This is because now next week I'm very excited to have someone from the YWCA is going to be on with me, and it's a victim's advocate, so that's going to be cool.
No, that's great. That's a great conversation.
We'll be doing an interview with her for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we got Kevin A. Long will be fun. But anyways, the YWCA of the Niagara region, 433-6714. They have victim advocates, like I was just saying. Those people will go with you to court, to the police station, to the hospital, whatever you need. They're there they'll do it with you. It's all for free. They will counsel you at home. There's counselors standing by 24 hours, 7 days a week. That's a hotline. So call anytime if you've ever been abused, raped as a child. Currently, it's happening to you as an adult. It doesn't matter. Call them, 433-6714. There's counselors there. They will help you. It's free of charge. They counsel you from home. You don't have to leave. They just call and you talk for an hour. Also, if you're a loved one of someone who's been, abused like that, call them. I did. It helped me realize what the mindset was of things. Because if you've never had it in your family, or it's never happened to you personally, or whatever, I get it. Some people don't understand what goes on. Call, you'll understand, and then you probably will never go down the victim shaming road again after you talk to them, because you'll understand. It's a thing that you just can't get, because people lose decades of life over this stuff, and the predators just walk around like they did nothing. So that's them. Next is 1-800-662-4357. That's mental health. That's bad thoughts, suicidal thoughts, depression, anxieties, all of that stuff. We've all had, you know what, if you really think about it, we've probably all had bad thoughts. We've all had situations where we felt hopeless and all that. So call that number. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're never alone, right, guys? We're always there. There's always someone there to talk, and so you don't hurt yourself. You don't feel that way anymore. Colin, thanks for
Thank
being
you so
here.
much.
And next week, we will have YWCA, Rachel, her name is, victims advocate. She'll be with us in the beginning of the show. After that, our friend Kevin from Pendleton will be finishing it out. And this is Citizens United for another Wednesday. See you next week, everyone.